She was born in 88 when I was 10. No.
Let me get him in.
Phone number?
All rise. Circuit Court in for Pinellas County is now in session with the Honorable Pat Syracuse.
All right, those of us returning from lunch, let's make sure we turn our cell phones off, please. And who's your court reporter there? She is. We need a defendant, so we'll get a defendant. All right, we're back in State of Florida versus Dailey, and we've taken a hour and 15-minute lunch break. State is present, defense is present, the defendant is present and in custody. Do you need any time to talk to him, or are we ready to go?
We just need to put one thing on the record, Your Honor.
All right, well, then we must be ready to go. All right, what do you want to put on the record?
Yes, Your Honor. So we just wanted to clarify Piercy's unavailability. I thought, and I could be wrong, that the state said because Piercy's here, that means he's available.
He's not available.
Okay, so I agree with you, Your Honor, but I think the case law says that we have to, A, either have Mr. Piercy come in here, Your Honor, order him to answer the question, and he refuses a direct order, or if the state wants to agree he's unavailable, then he's unavailable. But I don't think Your Honor technically ordered him to answer the question. I think you just said, next question, counselor, he's not going to answer. But if...
I asked him if he was going to...
Clear.
I asked him if he was going to answer. I asked him, do I need to hold you in contempt? I did everything from try to intimidate him a little bit, tried to be courteous to him, did everything short of buying him flowers. He was told, cajoled, and asked. I even had his parents ask him, or his mom ask him to testify, so he's unavailable. State, you want me to order him to testify again, State?
No, Your Honor, and I'm sorry if there was some confusion. I didn't mean that he was unavailable today. I meant for purposes of depositions in terms of unavailability, like the motion to perpetuate testimony, you have to show some unavailability in order to get that motion, and there was no unavailability prior to him coming in to be able to do a motion to perpetuate testimony.
Well, there was no motion to perpetuate testimony.
I know that, but that was my point. It was, we couldn't get a motion to perpetuate before, Your Honor. There was no legal basis to do so because he wasn't unavailable until he actually sat down and said, I'm not going to testify.
Okay, but you would agree he's unavailable now?
Correct.
Okay.
I meant, like, for purposes of the motion to perpetuate, he would not have been unavailable.
Okay. All right.
That's
So
fine.
I
We
think
just wanted
everybody's
to make-
position's clear. All right, great. Okay, so, look, I'll take your request to admit the deposition under advisement. For right now, I want to hear 1A. I want to hear how you're telling me that what I see in that deposition gets me to Piercy has now testified that he acted alone and that Dailey didn't do it. So, sell me on why this meets 1A, please, Counselor.
Yes, Your Honor. And I hate to ask you to have courtroom technology come in, but part of my argument will involve me showing you something, but I can start without it.
All right, well, let's see what's going on. Did you already try and get it up on that screen?
Fine, just indulge me for one moment, Your Honor.
And Judge, while he's working on that, if we could just have a clarification as far as the procedure that you want to employ. You've asked him to point out how the information or the data or the facts in Mr. Piercy's depo supports the claim of 1A.
Yes.
Do you want the state, as he goes through each one, to make their objection? Because I will tell you that 99% of all the documents and everything that was shown, there's a legal reason why they're not admissible. So how do you want to handle that? Do you want to wait till he's all done? Do you want to go line by line? There's numerous objections that if this was a depo to perpetuate, that normally that would have been done from the judge, and we could have the admissibility of certain documents that were shown to Mr. Piercy. The other issue is that not the great majority, but there is voluminous amount of talking testimony by Mr. Dubin during the depo that if you were allowed it in, we would want excise, because that's not testimony either. So, I mean, there's a whole plethora of things that we could be objection to. So how do you want to handle him going through, well, this proves whatever? Because we're going to be virtually objecting to everything. So how do you want to do it?
I'll allow you to have a continuing objection with the understanding that he's going to put in his entire presentation, you're going to put in your entire presentation. If necessary, I'll let him have one reply, and then I'll rule. All right?
But we really don't have a presentation. We just have objections to each one.
Okay.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, you're not going to want to answer what he's saying. You just want to object?
Yeah, because the documents and the things that he's going to offer as proof are not admissible.
Well, I'm not doing a cumulative. I'm doing right now how is this 1A? How does this...
Correct. So the only thing that he has, which he doesn't have, that supports 1A is Jack Piercy's testimony. Since you don't have that, then what else supports 1A that doesn't go to items that were not previously litigated? We've already litigated everything else, innocence, all this other stuff. The only thing we're here on is Jack Piercy's affidavit.
Your Honor, I
That's
disagree.
it.
Well, here, let me hear what he says 1A is. There you go, one up. Although you're getting that feedback for having the...
I'm going to take the sound off. Maybe that'll do it. Bingo.
Is it bingo? No, it's still...
Not
it's
bingo.
still...
All right, I'm going to do it from there.
Maybe you can have somebody assist you and turn the letters or something.
How about now? No? All right.
Yeah, it creates feedback when you put it up there. Same thing with the cell phone turned on.
Your Honor, I actually not going to indulge the state's argument because I think you'll see in a moment why, with all respect, it doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. I'm waiting to hear your argument, then I'm going to hear their argument, and then I'm going to hear a brief reply, and then I'm going to rule. So
Your Honor,
your argument. Why is this
we
1A?
now have, for the first time, under oath, direct evidence of the only eyewitness available to this murder, Jack Piercy, admitting that he and he alone was with the victim during the time frame that the state argued she was murdered. That has never been evidence in this case. It is now evidence in this case. There can be no more compelling evidence that certainly was not known at the time to counsel or the parties, and that would obviously produce an acquittal at trial, or at very minimum lead to a life sentence. This man has testified under oath in the deposition, and I asked him.
I don't see a page and line on there. Can you help me out with it? Because I got my copy right here.
It is page 22, lines 5 through 18, Your Honor, and he was asked by me, question, well, what happened when you left with, on the night of the murder, Shelley Boggio, when you left with, at one point, you take Oza Shaw to a payphone, correct? Answer, correct. Question, all right. Answer, 2 blocks away from the house. Question, all right. Answer, just drop them off. And critically, and I'm sorry, I apologize for giving the court my back. I'm just walking back and forth.
It's okay.
To the computer. Question, and who was with you at that point? Answer, Shelley and Oza. Question, okay, was Jim with you? Answer, no. Jim stayed at the house to do something, him and Gail, my girl. And if it couldn't be any clearer, at page 66, line 14 through 65, line 5, I asked him again. Said, okay, I want to be, before I move off this, I just want to be completely sure and put this to bed. James Dailey was not with you when you dropped Oza Shaw off at that payphone, right? Answer. Excuse me, that's what you say? Answer, you're correct. He wasn't with walked back to the house. And he, Oza Shaw, has also testified. Question, who went with you? Answer, it was that girl. I think he got the pronunciation wrong. He said Boggio, dead girl. Answer right, Piercy and I went to the phone booth. Now, the question becomes, when did he return back to the house? Because you're going to see in a moment, Your Honor, when he returns back to the house, Jack Piercy is still out with Shelley Boggio by himself. He returns back to the house, and what he said was, right, he makes that first call at 1:15 for 26 minutes. He has testified, I'm sure I was on the phone over an hour and I walked back home then. That took 15 minutes. So if you say he was on the phone for an hour, 2:15, he walks back, 15 minutes, 2:30. Look at his testimony at Mr. Dailey's trial. He's asked by Miss Andrews, question, sir, you don't know what happened after you were left off at the payphone, do you? Answer, no ma'am, I don't. Question, the next thing you know, you come home, Gail is sitting there mad because they all had left her. Answer, right. And why Gail is mad is because Jack Piercy leaves the pregnant mother of his child while she's in the bathroom and leaves with Shelley Boggio. That's why she's mad. There's record evidence of that. So, you're going to see, Your Honor, that Jack Piercy returns home, and it can be no question that when he returns home alone without Miss Boggio. And he was alone with her during that time period, and critically, during that time period, he is seen alone at Hank's bar. Miss Boggio is seen with one man, not two. And he returns home, and it all makes sense. His testimony now, on record, under oath for the first time, that he was alone with her. Now we know during this time frame